Ronda Rousey is officially set to return to MMA, but in a way no one expected. Her first fight in nearly a decade will not take place inside the UFC Octagon. Instead, Rousey will face fellow MMA pioneer Gina Carano under the banner of Most Valuable Promotions, led by Jake Paul, and the fight will be broadcast exclusively on Netflix. This represents a historic moment in combat sports. For the first time, a live MMA event of this scale will premiere on a global streaming platform. Fans and analysts alike were left asking why such a monumental fight didn't happen under the UFC umbrella, and Dana White has now addressed the issue directly. According to White, Rousey personally approached him last year to explore the possibility of staging the fight inside the UFC. He confirmed during a press briefing that he had discussions with her and her team. Her and I have been talking about this since last year, White said, noting that negotiations were indeed real and serious. However, despite good faith discussions, the deal ultimately fell through. White made it clear that there was no animosity and that the UFC respects Rousey's career decisions. The primary reason for the negotiations not coming to fruition, according to multiple sources close to the matter, was financial. Rousey wanted a guaranteed payout structure that matched her star power, something that was complicated by UFC's new broadcast agreement with Paramount Plus, which shifted away from traditional pay-per-view. Dana White acknowledged the challenges, saying, "It just didn't work out, that's all. But I'm happy for her and Gina moving forward." White also spoke about his relationship with Gina Carano, explaining that although they had differences in the past, he now fully supports her participation in the fight. He emphasized the importance of legacy, pointing out that both Rousey and Carano helped define women's MMA and deserve to be recognized for their contributions. White's response was measured, professional, and highlighted his understanding of both fighters' careers and the evolving business landscape of MMA. For Rousey, this fight is more than just a return to competition. It is a narrative about timing, legacy, and making history in a changing sport. The move to Netflix is a bold business strategy, showcasing how top-tier athletes can now partner with alternative promotions and streaming platforms to reach a global audience. Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions is providing a platform that blends celebrity marketing with authentic competition, promising massive viewership numbers. Dana White's commentary also addressed concerns about UFC's relevance in light of this outside promotion. He stressed that the UFC remains the world's premier MMA organization and continues to build a strong roster, big events, and exciting matchups. However, he admitted that the rise of streaming exclusive fights indicates that fighters now have more options than ever to create historic moments outside traditional promotions. The fight itself has generated intense anticipation among fans. Analysts are debating the stylistic matchup. Rousey, a former UFC champion and submission legend, versus Carano, a striking-focused pioneer. Many are predicting that Rousey's grappling will dominate, while Carano's stand-up skills and experience may make it a competitive spectacle. The buzz surrounding the fight has already gone viral on social media, highlighting the massive commercial and cultural impact of this return. From a business standpoint, Dana White noted that fighters increasingly want flexibility, guaranteed pay, and opportunities to reach audiences beyond the traditional UFC framework. This fight, though outside the UFC, validates the sport's growing popularity and shows how top stars can shape their own narratives. Netflix, as a streaming platform, now becomes a major player in combat sports distribution. As Fight Week approaches, Rousey's training footage, Carano's media appearances, and exclusive interviews with Jake Paul have all fueled excitement. Dana White's statements reinforce the professional respect between the fighters and the organization, while also underscoring the shifting landscape of modern MMA. UFC fans are watching closely to see how this fight affects the promotion's reputation, and whether future stars will follow the same model of streaming-based mega fights. Ultimately, Dana White's reaction to Rousey versus Carano on Netflix provides a balanced perspective. He acknowledges the realities of fighter negotiations, celebrates the legacy of both athletes, and accepts the evolution of sport. This fight marks a milestone in MMA history, not just for women's competition, but for the way major events can now bypass traditional pay-per-view and reach a global audience instantly. It's a story of business, legacy, athleticism, and entertainment, all converging in a single, groundbreaking fight. Fans are now eagerly counting down the days to see Rousey and Carano face off. Social media speculation, analysis from commentators, and historical comparisons to their previous fights continue to dominate MMA conversations worldwide. Dana White's professional and supportive stance ensures that while the UFC may not host this event, the organization maintains its authority and prestige in the sport. As the fight approaches, the narrative is clear. Rousey's return is historic. Carano's legacy is celebrated. Netflix is entering the combat sports arena, and Dana White has acknowledged the changing dynamics of MMA with professionalism and insight. This moment represents a perfect storm where sport, business, and media converge. A 5-minute story for every fight fan to watch, understand, and discuss.